Once a season, the EPT is lucky enough to take a trip a little bit further afield.
We're back in the beautiful Bahamas in search of some Caribbean adventure. Well, look no further. The stunning Atlantis always attracts a huge field to the PCA main event, with everyone looking for the winning combo of sun, sea, sand, and of course, smoking hot hold'em.
The PCA is the biggest EPT event of the year. And this year, it's bigger than ever. More than 1,500 players, over $15 million in the prize pool, and the premier players on the planet, including one of the most important in the history of the game. Chris Moneymaker is in search of that elusive second title, and now he's making a run in this main event.
People always ask, do you have something to prove? I wouldn't be playing if I didn't.
He's waited 8 long years for his return to glory.
I've seen crazy things happen.
Could his time finally come at the PCA main event? When the 2011 PokerStars.com Caribbean Adventure main event began, the field of 1,560 players boasted some of the biggest names in the game, including Phil Ivey, Daniel Negreanu, Barry Greenstein and Eric Seidel, as well as a slew of former EPT champs like Jason Mercier, Liv Barry and Victoria Corrin. But these top pros are among the masses that have already been eliminated. As day 3 begins, just 173 remain, and among them is PCA Super High Roller champion Eugene Ketelov, hoping to pull off a rare double victory. And a few players who hope this trophy would give them a different double. Jake Cody, Toby Lewis, Peter DeCorva and the 2008 PCA winner Elke are hoping to become the first ever 2-time EPT champion here in the Bahamas.
Winning a second EPT title is definitely one of my most important goals because I will be the first one to do so.
But the biggest story is the man sharing the feature table with Elke. 2003 world champion Chris Moneymaker has had a remarkable run here and is playing perhaps the best poker of his life.
I think things are going to go well, and I'm not going to say I'm going to win this tournament, but I like my chances.
Hello, I'm James Hartigan alongside PCA veteran William Reynolds. All rise, please. The man who started the poker boom is in the house.
Good luck, guys. Good luck. Unless you're in a pot with me, then I can't tell you good luck anymore.
And sharing this table with Chris Moneymaker is the man who won this very tournament 3 years ago, Elke. He and the rest of the field are in the money now, but they're looking for a seat at the final table. They're looking to win the $2.3 million first prize. Now, this is Italian neuroscience researcher Erica Cerasti, one of only 2 women left in the field. And from under the gun, she'll look down at 4-5 of diamonds and will fold.
Disciplined laydown. And Elke with the deuce 7, a not so disciplined laydown. Standard.
Action's been folded around to Chris Moneymaker.
The man who started it all.
King 9 offsuit. He's in late position in the cutoff, 1 away from the dealer button, and he's raising to 13,000.
And he's starting the action here.
David Tuthill has a better king. And in the small blind,
38,500.
he's going to re-raise. It's a 3-bet to just over 38,000.
Dave. Is it Dave or David?
Either way, I don't care. Whatever you want.
That's so sick.
If we can be more chummy, you can call me Dave, I guess.
You look like a nice fellow.
Thank you.
I don't want those two getting chummy together.
What would you do if I raised you?
My friend played with you in the main this year, and he said you were a sicko. It was like playing with an internet kid. Is what he told me.
I try to be an internet kid.
Moneymaker was an internet kid before the term even existed.
However, right now he's using his strong live pro plays.
Here goes sicko.
And he's going to 4-bet with the King 9.
Oh, I was not expecting that. The whole nice speech and everything, I thought for sure you were folding.
It's always good in poker to do things they don't expect.
Wow. That's so sick.
Take your time. Jacks is a big hand.
Oh my God, you're messing with my mind so bad.
Tuthill doesn't have a big hand and he lets it go.
Okay. That's gotta be a 3, right? Oh, okay. Ace, king? King, queen of diamonds?
Doesn't give so much information.
I had that too. Nice hand.
You got a king too?
Yeah. God. The whole speech and everything, that's so sick.
Well, if you had a king, then you're in bad shape. I'm not as sicko as I seem. I 3-bet and 4-bet with good hands, usually.
Usually. Just not this time, but
Yeah, not this time, yeah. I had king deuce.
Sometimes it's about being courageous rather than holding the best hand. That is why I have a poster of Chris Moneymaker above my bed. He gets it done.
Can't believe you just confessed that. Moneymaker is the big stack. The 2 short stacks are Elke and Canadian Joe Lee. We've then got 4 Americans in a row, and then Rodriguez from Brazil and Charasti from Italy. Action here is going to be on Elke. King, Jack of spades.
Suited paint, how troublesome it can be. But nonetheless, it's a raising hand.
The blinds are 3,000, 6,000. Elke makes it 13,000. And folded to Moneymaker with 3-6 offsuit. He'll muck that. Michael Pesek and David Tuthill have both passed. Roberto Rodriguez is in the small blind with ace-9 off.
This hand may be one better than the dead man's hand, but Rodriguez is in danger if he makes it a hobby to play bad aces out of position against Elke.
Well, he has made the call, and we will go to the flop. It's 7-3 deuce rainbow.
This flop helps no one. It's extremely dry. Whoever bets is going to win. He checks it to the aggressor, and Elke's probably going to bet.
But he doesn't make a continuation bet. He checks behind.
It's a little bit sneaky here.
Turn card is the 8 of hearts. No change. Ace high still good.
I'm shocked Elke didn't bet such a dry board, especially with 2 overs and a backdoor flush draw.
Well, Rodriguez has checked for a second time. Does Elke now bet the turn?
If he wants to win the pot, he needs to put chips in.
Well, he checks it again and hits his king on the river.
That's how you do it. Check it back, river top pair. And now it might be Rodriguez who wants to take a stab at this pot if he thinks his ace high is no good.
He checks it.
Elke is surely going to value bet. The question is how much? 36,000 in the pot, and 22.5 is the answer.
Rodriguez with just ace high. He's played the hand very passively so far.
Rodriguez shouldn't really be able to call this after Elke checks it all the way down to the river and makes a small value bet. It just looks like he rivered a king, and he makes the correct fold.
He's a machine.
Two pair.
He's not a machine, he's a Terminator.
Elke now up to 143,800. So he's still pretty short. These are the deep stacks, moneymakers on the leaderboard. But leading the way with close to 1 million chips is Adam Geyer. He's involved in a hand at one of our outer tables against Zhujiao Yang. Geyer has bet 90,000 on the river, the board reading 10 king, queen, 4 king.
I call.
And Yang makes the call.
You got it.
Shows his jacks, and his jacks are good.
Jacks.
Geyer will muck. So, small blow to his stack. Adam Geyer finished 15th in this tournament in 2009, looking to make the final table this year. At another outer table, Faraz Jaka has put David Bugner all in. Jaka with the diamond draw, Bugner with trip aces. He'll need to fade a diamond to double up. There's the diamond on the river. Jaka will take his chips, Bugner will hit the rail.
Jaka gonna Jaka, and he just flushed this guy down the toilet. Wash your hands, Faraz, that was dirty.
I thought I was feeling lucky today, so.
Yeah.
Well, that luck has seen him become one of the biggest stacks in the room. Meanwhile, PCA Super High Roller champion Eugene Kachalov is all in with jacks. Victor Ramdin is all in with ace-10. And they're waiting on Martin van Gelder. The Swiss player has to decide whether he wants to call with a pair of 9s and put both Ramdin and Kachalov at risk. And he folds face up.
That's the best hand. Wow.
No, it's not.
That's the best hand.
That's nuts.
So rammed in at risk. Needs to see an ace. Or cards for a straight. Diamonds would be good as well. But that's not the flop he was looking for. A full house for Eugene Kachalov. And Ramden drawing dead on the turn and eliminated, collecting $17,500.
Yeah.
Nice hand indeed for Eugene Kachalov, whose magical PCA run continues here in the Bahamas.
It's been a great PCA so far. High roller was definitely a tough field. Obviously consisted of a lot of great players. Took a lot out of me to really get as far as I did. I felt like I really had to concentrate on every single hand and give it my best. The heads-up battle with Daniel was really tough.
No way I can fold, right?
He played great. I mean, he kept doubling up. He kept getting it in with the best hand. I felt a lot of pressure on me. The feeling of the last card coming down and you finally realize it's like a huge relief off your shoulders because you're like, wow, I actually won. It's amazing, and you're just so happy. Starting the next tournament is very tough because after winning like 1.5 million, it's like cashing kind of no longer matters. Literally, I'm just trying to win. It's almost like I was spoiled by winning the high roller. So it was tough for me at first, but here I am, I'm deep again. Hopefully I can make something happen. Winning the main event, that would be like fantasy land, I don't know. That would be just insane, I think.
Kachalov one-up me hard. I got nothing on this guy.
Last year, William took down the standard high roller, but Kachalov won that super high roller with a 100K buy-in. Let's return to our feature table.
Dude, y'all can't be guessing my cards. It's just not right.
Well, Elke knows better than me. I'm just randomly naming hands. Elke actually knows.
Well, Elke knows everything
I know,
that I
it's
have.
so sick.
You sure he's not a machine?
He's a poker terminator built to steal all of the chips.
Action's on Chris Moneymaker with Queen 5 of diamonds. He'll
He's
fold.
in the big blind, right? What? Oh, okay. Yeah, I can't see it because of the blue. My bad, my bad. Yeah. I apologize. Okay, I guess I fold then.
It is the short stack Joe Lee who's posted the big blind. Action folded to Roberto Rodriguez with ace jack. Love the way he squeezed that. He raises it up to 14,500.
Now over to that poker terminator with the same exact hand. Ace jack not suited.
And he is all in. He's shoving with it.
He's jamming just over 20 big blinds. Back to Rodriguez, who has the same hand.
A lot easier to push with ace jack than it is to call with it.
True story. This is a tough decision for him. He knows Elke's not just jamming any two.
And it's pretty much for all of his stack.
Poker is Elke's habitat. The feature table is his environment. Right now, he's in the zone.
Rodriguez mucks.
I give Queen for pick one. Pick one, Roberto.
I want this one right here, the closest to one you want.
This one?
Yeah.
It's the ace.
I want the other one.
It's just the pick one game, Chris.
I don't like playing with him.
We never played. We never played.
There's a reason for this. If I see he's registered in a tournament, you just unregistered. Elke's gonna win, why even register?
Elke's aggression sees him chip up and stay alive here at the PCA.
Win one EPT title and you've made a name for yourself. But win another and you'll make history. Here at the PokerStars.com Caribbean Adventure, 4 previous champions still remain in the hunt for that elusive second title.
Hard to believe that no one has yet done the double. One of the players here at the Atlantis Poker Room who is hoping to change that is Jake Cody, involved in a hand here against Brandon Myers. It's been checked down on the river. Myers has a pair of 8s, and Jake Cody is going to muck his hand. So his stack not necessarily moving in the right direction at the moment. Toby Lewis, however, who won EPT Villamora earlier this season, has just won a pot and is stacking chips up to 418,000. Those shoes can only belong to one man. Peter DeCorva, the 2009 Grand Final champion. Sitting next to Faraz Jaka, who also has an interesting fashion sense.
Respect for the shoes. If it wasn't for the shoes, I'm playing this hand.
Yeah, first my hand. I thought it was a diamond. Gotta be good.
Instead of
You want to give him a double hand.
And talking of interesting fashion sense, we still have Elkie on our feature table.
Elkie wearing a reasonably conservative t-shirt today, not as bedazzled as normal.
I'm not sure I have to pay for poker lessons, Elkie.
I can't give it.
You can't give it.
That's how good he is. He can't give away it.
Can't give away the secrets.
If he told you those secrets, Chris, he'd have to terminate you.
Blinds are still 3-6. Elkie has posted the big blind. Michael Gagliano is under the gun, looking down at ace-9 of diamonds. And he raises, makes it 13,000.
It's good enough to get the action started. Over to Chris Moneymaker.
Queen-Jack offsuit goes into the muck.
Excellent discipline fold. He's in too early a position to play such a hand.
Folded around to Roberto Rodriguez. He has the button, and he will make the call with King-5 of spades.
I think he should have followed the rest of the table's lead and fold that hand however he wants to tangle.
Elkie with eights.
And Elkie surely to come along. Maybe squeeze. He knows Rodriguez is calling very wide on the button.
He doesn't raise. He will just call from the big blind, and we will go three-way to the flop.
Flops.
Well, that's not a bad flop for a pair of eights. It also gives Rodriguez the second nut flush draw, but Gagliano has the lead with a pair of nines.
I think it's safe to say everyone's fairly happy with this flop. The dealer put an action one out there. Elkie's going to lead to see where he's at in this hand. He's going to take control of the pot. He has a pair. He has a gut shot. It's very likely the under the gun open just has overcards, but he has top, and he's going to raise and take control of this hand. Now over to Rodriguez, who has a pair and a flush draw. There is a bet and a raise in front of him. It's most likely he's just going to move all in.
He has 182,000 behind. But he does just call.
Instead, the strongest play in poker, the flat call.
So sick.
Elkie knows he's going to have to pass.
He lets the eights go.
Bedazzled discipline.
So heads up to the turn.
Gagliano may be concerned with this flat call. He may be putting his opponent on tens, jacks, or a flush draw.
Flush draw it is, and it didn't get there on the turn.
But with 145,000 in the pot and Gagliano on a short stack, he may just be putting this man on a draw.
And he's going to protect against that draw by moving all in.
At this point, Rodriguez is going to have to call. He's ahead of all other flush draws with his pair of fives. It's 90,000 to call. There's 235 in there. It is for the majority of his chip stack, but he's got to gamble and get these chips.
He makes the call, putting Gagliano at risk, although he is a 2-to-1 favorite with one card to come.
Rodriguez's poker game is about as fashionable as that jacket.
Elkie cannot believe what he is seeing.
Neither can Little Red Riding Hood.
Gagliano needs to fade. A king of five or a spade is the jack of clubs on the river. He's home and dry, and he will double up. And Rodriguez will be left with about 47,000.
That was an excellent turn value shove by Gagliano for all the money.
Elkie cannot believe what he's just seen, and I don't mean that jacket. Blinds up to 4,000, 8,000 with a 500 ante. Gagliano now second in chips at the feature table. Elkie one of the short stacks with 120,000.
My wife doesn't play poker at all, but 2 years ago I went through a span where I busted out of 7 tournaments in a row with pocket aces, where I got it all in pre-flop. And so I'm crying to her a little bit, you know, just being, I can complain to her all the time, whatever. So she just looks at me deadpan and goes, well, just don't play him anymore. I was like, baby, I love you.
It's got to be an amazing feeling, like to just fold aces pre-flop.
I had a guy fold aces to me in 2005 in a tournament pre-flop.
There's run good in poker, but when your opponents muck aces to you pre-flop, that's running faster than light speed.
Action has been folded to Elkie on the button. He looks down at ace-jack.
I'm all in.
And he's open shoving.
Okay.
Ace-jack not suited. One more time for Elkie. Good to put all of the chips in on the button. Just has to get through the blinds.
Gagliano in the small blind folds.
Over to the biggest big blind in poker, Chris Money.
8 high any good?
He mucks.
Elkie wins.
Is that the only one you saw?
It's a heart.
Is that the only one you saw?
Oh yeah, probably. The one was probably another ace, but I didn't want to look because if it's another ace and I don't get called, I'll be sad.
So the thing is, if I don't call, it's a deuce. If I do call, it's the other ace.
Yeah.
Elke fights on, looking for another big result here at the PCA.
I won the main event PCA 2008 and the high order in 2009. So PCA is definitely a very special event for me. I love playing here, I love the atmosphere, and for some reason I do pretty well here. This main event is really important, not only because it's like the biggest field ever in the PCA and in any EPT event, but also it would really mean a lot for me to be able to win a second EPT title. Nobody ever won 2 events, so I will be making history if I can be the first one. It's also launching the year, it kind of gives you confidence to like have a great year, so it's very important for me. I guess I will be Mr. PCA, yeah.
The general consensus is, if anyone can do it, it's Elke.
Well, let's head out to the field where there is some controversy brewing at one of our outer tables between Ted Lawson and Eddie Sabat.
It goes raise and goes like this.
No, I did not do that. I did not do that. Ask him. What did I do? What is he doing?
Ted has accused Eddie of string betting.
He brought them back, and then he put that on the floor.
Eddie's not happy.
I play a lot of poker. I've never gotten angry once. Listen to me. Listen to me. You're the only person that's bothered me. That's pleasant? Wow. But I'm done with it. Enjoy.
Controversies, altercations, disputes, quarrels. Can't we all just get along, James?
Oh, you naive idealist, William. Over to another outer table where one of the runners-up for 2010 Player of the Year, Dwight Pilgrim, has called the clock on Bolivar Palacios. Pilgrim has bet the river with just king high.
Pilgrim with big dreams and a shot in the dark.
Palacios clearly with a tough decision. 5-second countdown.
3, 2.
Wow. He lets it go. And Dwight shows the bluff.
Nice. Nice hand.
That's how you play poker, boys.
I thought lessons were extra.
Sometimes put it all on the line.
That's how you gotta live life, man.
Nah, don't live life like that, son. It's only a game.
Already done.
It's only a game.
It's all in the game, yo. It's all in the game.
We've got an all-in at Eugene Kachalov's table. It's Kachalov who's shoved with jacks. He's been called by Alex Santiago with ace-king. Don't forget, last time Kachalov had pocket jacks, he flopped a full house. Oh, this time it's only a set.
I don't like your chances.
Santiago would like to see a queen. That would give him Broadway.
Kachalov looks a bit concerned he didn't turn the boat.
Queen of diamonds, maybe?
Queen of spades for excitement.
Does anyone have a spade?
Kachalov needs to fade a queen to survive, and he does. He will double up to Alex Santiago.
Another good day so far for me.
The super high roller champion continues his winning ways.
Let's return to our feature table. Blind still 4,000, 8,000.
Okay, just let me know when you're going to play a pot so I can fold.
Well, Elke's in the big blind here, so there's a 99.9% chance that he will play.
I like those odds.
Ace-10 for Gagliano.
Good enough to open from under the gun +1.
Pocket aces for Chris Moneymaker. Now, is he going to follow his wife's advice and fold them pre-flop?
Well, I hope he's putting those sunglasses on to throw in raising chips.
He is. He will 3-bet to 42,000. Chris told the rest of the table earlier on that he's not had a good run with pocket aces recently, but he knows you have to play them, and he's playing them strong.
He made the correct play. He wants to thin down the field and get it heads up, and now he wants Elke to play. He has the big hand, but it looks like Elke will not be able to join the party.
That was your shot, Elke.
I didn't feel so good about that one.
The 0.1% shot got there.
Elke's reads are spot on.
So back on Gagliano. And it looks like he's re-raising. He's made a 4-bet to 98,000.
Gagliano can't call an out-of-position 3-bet, but he can 4-bet that 3-bet, and he does just that. And now Chris Moneymaker has a decision. He's not putting him on a value hand. He's putting him on a move. He's just going to call and continue to let Gagliano destroy his destiny.
The flop is 8-9 king.
It came king high. Who can rep the ace-king, James? Gagliano can.
And he does. He continues for 52,500. That's about a quarter of the pot.
Moneymaker's plan is all falling into place. He's going to raise this dry king high flop up.
He has clicked it back.
Moneymaker is raising to protect these aces that he loses with so often. Or so he says.
Gagliano is going to move all in.
I call.
And Chris will see that he has a 94% favorite with those aces.
Is that or nothing?
Gagliano had a read, it was wrong.
Drawing incredibly thin. He's going to need running cards, or he will be eliminated by Chris Moneymaker. He is dead on the turn.
I have to give Gagliano a grade A in the no fear department.
Thanks, man. Good luck, guys.
He also scores 10 out of 10 in the no chips department as he will walk to the rail. Chris Moneymaker winning another pot, getting his stack up to close to $1 million.
More poker from paradise when we return to the Bahamas.
If you would like to play in an EPT event, go to PokerStars.com. There are qualifiers every day.
You made the money.
Oh, baby!
You ran well for over 2 days.
Too fair.
But day 3 for many has been the day to say goodbye.
Out the door.
127 remain in the PokerStars.com Caribbean Adventure.
After a flurry of eliminations, some tables have been broken. Eugene Kachalov now finds himself at the same table as Ana Laura Marquez and Eddie Sabat. He's involved in a hand with them at the moment. It's an ace, queen, 8-7 board. Sabat and Marquez have checked. Kachalov makes it 32,000 from the button. Marquez has hit top pair on the turn. She has called. Eddie Sabat lets it go. So heads up to the river, which is the Jack of Hearts. Marquez checks again. Kachalov checks behind. Ana Laura shows a pair of aces. And they're good. So Marquez continues her deep run in the main event. Just 2 women remain in the hunt for the championship title, the trophy, and first prize of $2.3 million. Back to our feature table where Elke sat opposite Chris Moneymaker. Well, there's a new player at our feature table, sat to Chris Moneymaker's right, Pavel Zuev from Russia, who secured his first ever EPT cash here at the PCA. So Elke is under the gun +1 and looks down at sixes. Now he has a short stack. And he's making a move, he's all in.
Elke's a nice guy.
Elke's a jerk.
Charming.
Elke's been programmed to be aggressive.
Zuev has 8s. He came to our feature table with a stack of 147,000.
Okay, I'm another 2.
So he will be all in as well.
Zuev's in the hijack. He has a good pair.
A Moneymaker has ace-king of diamonds.
Sick.
Oh, it's not that sick, Money. You have ace-king of diamonds with a 2-for-1 special.
I call.
And in this situation, with that stack, he makes the call.
And Chris says I call.
And Michael Pesek will fold the button. And the blinds will both fold.
Anybody have a pair? Which one's that pairs? Hopefully we both have pairs.
Elke.
6s? Hopefully I have like 8s.
Turns pocket 6s.
Good read,
8s?
Chris.
Pavel.
Nice, okay, I'll take it.
Pocket 8s.
Yeah, this is Chris Moneymaker's hand every time.
Chris is called.
No, this is Elke's hand. This is Elke's special right here. 8, I'm sorry, man, you're dead. It's Elke. It's Elke.
That's not very good. I don't like my spot now. But I got the heart though. I got the heart.
Yeah, you do have the heart.
The heart. It would be good to use a one-time chip. One time.
You're using your one-time chip now?
Yeah, come on.
Oh, here's the flop. Top pair for Moneymaker.
Scary 2 cards afterwards.
I take a 3.
Oh, 7 would be sick.
So sick.
7 of diamonds.
Even sicker. So 2 players all in who need to improve.
Oh, he called the 3. No. No, don't get. I told you it's Elke's pot.
Elke's now up and down.
What do you feel on the river, Elke?
I mean, I'm not any card will, any deuce, 7 or 6 will do. 7 would be nice.
Jack of spades, I feel the jack of spades.
Elke's called his own outs.
I like the 7, yeah.
What's that?
Zuev needs an 8.
7 is supposed to be lucky too.
The river is a 5. Moneymaker's hand holds. And that seals the fate of the man they call Mr. PCA. Elke's eliminated, as is Pavel Zuev, who we never really got to know.
Didn't have the time.
And Moneymaker is the new tournament chip leader with a stack of 1.24 million.
If I'm winning races, I can actually win this tournament now. Elke's gone.
Yeah, you have a shot.
Dude, if he won that pot, I would have just cried. Thank you, Elke.
Hey, see you, Chris. Good luck.
Thank you for not crushing my soul.
Farewell from afar.
Sorry, man. Good game.
So we've lost one of the most feared players in the room, the man who won this tournament back in 2008. We've also lost another former EPT champion. Jake Cody's been knocked out. So now there are just 2 former EPT winners left in the field, including Toby Lewis, involved in a hand here against David Sands. And looks like Lewis is raking in the pot. His stack up to close to $500,000. The other player who could potentially do the double is Peter de Corva. He's just raised to 25,000. It's David News with the decision.
Cartoon Comedy has the pink panther. We have the pink poker player with pink chips to match.
I hope you were pushing.
Instead he folded.
I got pocket 5. It's king. It's queen.
Peter not obliging him with an answer. Let's see if Elke is feeling a little bit more talkative. He's been eliminated from the tournament and is now standing by with Michelle Orb.
Elke unlucky. Not nice to see the 8s there.
He wasn't meant to be this time, I guess.
Well, you have obviously done it before. It would be so great to win one of these events again and be the first one to do it twice.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely one of my big goals, and I guess I'll be back in Deauville to try again. How tough is the field? It's a very tough field, of course, and there's like 1,500 players, so it's definitely the hardest EPT to win. So it would have been even better to win it again, but I guess I'll be back in 2012 for the PCA, yeah.
Excellent. Well, we love watching you play. You can go do some sunbathing now.
Thank you, yeah. I'll swim with the dolphins, I love that.
Like, it sounds good to us. Well, congratulations for cashing. We'll see you next time.
All right, see you.
Elke's pastier than I am. I don't think he's been sunbathing in his life.
I run pretty good to this tournament so far, so. It's 2011.
Yeah, that's a long time. 8 years, I would probably be over.
I'm just saying it's a new year. It's the year of run good.
Year of run good. I'm rooting for you.
Thank you.
I think it's fair to say a lot of people are rooting for Chris Moneymaker, the man who helped create the poker world we know today.
They call it the Moneymaker effect, and it's pretty insane. It seems like so long ago. It's amazing. In the last 8 years, poker has grown tremendously. The average skill level of the players has grown as well. If I knew what I know now in 2003, there would be several hands that I played differently. What I wanted, I don't know, but it would have been a lot harder. I'm a much better player now than I was in 2003. I've learned a lot. You win a big tournament like that and you taste that success in this environment, and it's contagious. You want it again. So it's been a long time coming. I've had a target on my back the first 3 years big time, and I really didn't know how to handle it. It was tough. You know, people were always gunning for me, always calling me down, always bluffing me, and it was definitely difficult. I have really tried to control my getting out of hand and trying to 5-bet people off hands that I know they're not going to fold. I guess I was destined to go broke there. That was my biggest problem for years. It was sort of a tough transition, but I think I got it figured out. Not to discredit what I did in 2003, that was fantastic, but the hard work that I've put in to get here in 2011 and the level of skill of this tournament is just, it's mind-blowing compared to 2003. I feel like I'm working a lot harder and I'm really focused on this tournament, and so this one would mean more to me, I believe.
When Moneymaker won it all back in 03, I was just a 14-year-old boy with a dream. Chris Moneymaker gave birth to that dream, and here he is today chasing his second major title.
Well, we are now going to sweat with Chris Moneymaker. We're going to play this next hand from his perspective and only see his whole cards. Here's another new player at our feature table. This is Redmond Lee, a British online cash grinder who likes his blue hoodies.
Cash game grinders are scary. They generally know the game. This guy looks like he was going to raise before it was even folded to him. I'd already be startled.
And he does raise. He makes it 20,000.
Comes in for the minimum. Chris Moneymaker with a suited connector. Suited connectors are fun to play, but everyone is on the short stack. He's making a loose call here to see a flop.
David Tuthill has folded the button. Dana Kellstrom and Erica Charasti fold the blinds. So heads up to the flop. Moneymaker does have position.
Let's see if he can use that position to hijack this pot.
The flop is ace 10-4, 2 hearts.
Well, he's going to need a creative play to win this pot, as he only has 7 high with no backdoor hope.
Redmond Lee, the pre-flop aggressor, does not continue. He checks.
This could be a good spot for Money to throw out a bet and potentially pick up the pot.
He checks behind instead.
Gives his opponent the stare down.
Turn card is the queen of clubs. Changes nothing for Moneymaker. Now Lee did not bet the flop. He does not bet the turn.
It looks like Lee is giving up on this hand. This could be a good opportunity for Money to bet right here, right now on the turn and end things. With 56,000 in there, he's firing 30,000 into the pot. That's only a half pot bet. He's just taking a small stab at this, hoping his opponent lays down his hand, but his opponent is reaching for chips. They look like a lot of chips, but those are just calling chips, 30,000 to match. At this point, it's highly unlikely Lee has a huge hand, but he probably has something on the lines of 10 jack to a small ace. If he had a big hand, he would probably raise this turn as there were a few flush draws. The river has paired the 10. That doesn't change much. Most likely he's going to check the Moneymaker and have a decision.
Well, he does check. Moneymaker can only win by betting this.
He has to put chips in the pot to win the chips in the pot. However, he's going to be very wary of this river card when he knows his opponent has a mid-range value hand.
He checks it.
What do you got? I missed.
I got kings.
Redmond Lee had pocket kings and will win that pot.
I don't know what I missed, but I missed.
Well, you clearly missed an opportunity to bluff your opponent off of kings.
Nice. Thank you.
And so the highest placed British finisher in the 2010 World Series of Poker wins a pot from the 2003 main event champion. But he still has the tournament chip lead here in the Bahamas.
Day 3 has been the Chris Moneymaker show thus far,
Here goes Sicko.
as he's eliminated players and accumulated chips.
It's 2011, the year of run good.
His quest for another major title appears to be right on track.
How are you running at the table today?
Obviously, I'm running real well. I've doubled my stack so far, but it helps when you wake up with aces and ace-king. I'm running quite well, and as long as I continue to play well, things will be all right.
Well, we're going to let you get back to the game. Good luck, and we'll speak to you later.
Talk to you later. Thanks.
Just under 100 players, including Chris Moneymaker, remain in contention to lift that trophy here at the PCA main event in the Bahamas. Blinds are up, 5,000, 10,000 with a 1K ante, and we've lost a player from our feature table. Moneymaker's buddy David Tuthill, who was in seat 6, was eliminated by Michael Pesek. Action is on Moneymaker with King Jack.
He's been playing all of the hands today. He's not going to stop now.
And he is raising, makes it 23,000. Pesek lays it down. Erica Charasti not interested. This is Wesley Weems from the Netherlands.
Is that a spacesuit or a hoodie?
He has 6-7 of clubs, and he has the button in front of him.
With the button, it's generally better to 3-bet hands like these rather than just call when you're only playing 40 big blinds, but he elects to take a flop.
Romania's Robert Cesarescu folds the small blind. Redmond Lee gives up the big blind. So it's Moneymaker against Weems. And a 3-3-4 flop.
This gives a gut shot and a backdoor flush draw to Weems.
Moneymaker with 2 overcards to the board will make a continuation bet of 33,000. Weems is reaching for chips. And he's raising.
Weems is well aware Money is c-betting this flop with a wide range. His raise is designed to take control of this situation. Now back to Money. He can't really call. He should be re-raising or folding.
Well, he does decide to call.
And the champion proves me wrong. He has a trick in store for us. Stay tuned till the turn.
Turn is the ace of hearts, changes nothing.
Everyone is bricked, and now Moneymaker has put in a stack of 85,000. Both players are making moves. Money floated the flop out of position. That's from his advanced playbook. And now Weems has a real situation. Money concluded the best way to win this pot is to lead the turn. But if Weems' glasses were X-ray, he would know going all in is better than calling.
I guess they're not X-ray specs because he's called.
Clearly the wrong decision here. But Moneymaker doesn't have a made hand yet. He could still win this pot.
Weems needs a 5. Instead, it's a king on the river, and that gives Moneymaker top pair.
And at this point, Moneymaker is finally going to feel confident that he has the best hand. He may be putting his opponent on pocket 10s or jacks.
Moneymaker's been bluffing, and now he makes a value bet. He bets enough to put Weems all in.
When you have a target on your head like Chris Moneymaker, you have to take well-timed shots to fight for your right to splash around. Money has been mixing it up with the young kids, and it's resulted in chips coming his way.
Nice hand.
Weems lets it go. Another pot for Chris Moneymaker. Running very well at this feature table.
Running well, playing well.
Well, a combination of the two has seen him win 20% of the hands he's played, above the table average. He is the chip leader at our feature table, but no longer the chip leader in the tournament. It's been crazy out there. Chris Oliver currently set to top the leaderboard with a stack of more than 2 million. And there he is. Headphones in position, kind of.
Hat in position, tilted.
Meanwhile, Eugene Kachelov has picked up jacks again.
Surprise, surprise.
He's got Ted Lawson all in and drawing thin. Lawson looking for a 4. Oh, Kachelov didn't catch a jack on the flop this time.
Surprise, surprise.
Instead, he catches it on the turn. And that sees Ted Lawson drawing dead and eliminated from the tournament in 96th place. Kachelov adding 304,000 chips to his stack. Eddie Sabat doesn't seem to be crying for Ted Lawson's departure.
Well, next year.
Optimism for the win. Well, that impressive wall of chips belongs to Max Lemansky, currently second on the leaderboard with 1.8 million. He watches on as Brian Collin decides whether he wants to call a two-way all-in with pocket 9s. Dmitry Stelmach has shoved with king 9. Peter Korver has shoved with ace queen. The decision is now with Collin.
You have 3 all-ins.
And he makes the call. Stelmach will need to hit a king. De Korver will be looking for aces and queens. If his hand doesn't improve, De Korver's dream of becoming the first player to win a second EPT title will have to wait.
Collin with the only pair. Let's see if the flop changes that.
It does. Stelmach takes the lead with a pair of kings. Collin will need the case 9 to eliminate 2 players. De Korver can survive with an ace, queen, or 10. The turn card is the 6 of hearts, so Stelmach is set for a triple up. Collin still leads De Korver for the side pot. And the Monte Carlo champion from 2009 will be eliminated if he doesn't improve on the river. No dice for De Korver. He's eliminated.
I think I break even.
Collin gets 272,000, that's the side pot. Stelmach gets that triple up, the main pot.
They always say, why double up when you can triple up?
De Korver finishes in 90th for just over $23,000. And there is no let-up in the action at our outer tables. Here is chip leader Chris Oliver re-raising Thomas Middleton, who I don't think is going anywhere with kings. Sure enough, he shoves. And Oliver makes the call as 4-1 underdog.
This is one of the biggest pots of the tournament thus far with 2 million chips in the middle.
The flop has a jack on it. Chris Oliver learning tricks from Eugene Kachelov.
Pocket jacks are the hand to have at the PCA.
Middleton now needs one of the 2 remaining kings in the deck. If he doesn't catch it on the river, He's eliminated, and Oliver becomes a commanding chip leader in the tournament. The board bricks out for Middleton. He's sent to the rail. And Chris Oliver wins that 2 million chip pot and now has a stack in front of him of more than 3 million.
Where's Oliver going to put all of these chips?
Give it a bit like to me. Come on. Come on. Give it a bit to me. Give it a bit to me.
What is this man doing?
My God, hey. Good job.
That is one of the freakiest things I've ever seen at a poker tournament. And trust me, I've seen some freaky things in poker tournaments.
Let's get back to the feature table.
Your wish is my command.
All right, here he is, the man, no myth, the money maker.
And right now, halfway through day 3, his stack is 3 times the tournament average. Action's on Michael Pesek. He's got pocket 10s.
Pesky 10s for Pesek from early position.
He is raising 22,000. Pocket 6s for Kallstrom. Folds.
He mucked those 6s with only 14 big blinds. That's fair.
Everyone's folded apart from Moneymaker in the big blind with Queen 5 of clubs.
Probably not the best hand to defend against an under-the-gun open. Maybe he's thinking of 3-betting.
No, he does call.
Defying the odds, defying position, one man, one mission, Queen 5 suited.
6-3-4 is the flop. Would have been top set for Kallstrom.
Too bad. Instead, Moneymaker's got an open-ended straight draw.
Pesek still leads with the overpair. Moneymaker checks to him.
This is a great flop for Pesek. He's going to bet to protect his 10s on this wet low board that hits a lot of the big blinds calling range.
He's made it 32,000. And Moneymaker will call him. We'll see a turn card.
The defender.
It's the 5 of hearts. Well, a flush just got there. There's a 4-card straight. Moneymaker has paired his 5, but he's still behind, but that's not going to stop him leading out.
Moneymaker knows this turn has wrecked his opponent's range of big cards and overpairs that are heartless.
Pesek's looking back at his hand.
And it is indeed heartless. Black 10s.
Probably have a lot of equity if I'm not beat already.
Moneymaker had bluffing equity. He's had creative control over this feature table all day long. He's been showing these young kids a thing or 2 or 3 or 4.
Ace queen with ace of hearts.
This what you had?
No, that's what you had.
I had you beat.
Not on the flop, you didn't.
No, not on the flop.
So Chris Moneymaker continues his mission to secure that elusive second major championship.
As day 3 of the PCA main event rolls on,
Oh, baby!
some players are moving in the wrong direction while others are moving out the door. Elke, DeCorva and Cody have each bid their farewells along with half of the field.
Well, next year.